Two unemployed actors. Two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we do look the same, actually, today. It's a bit unnerving. We're both dressed in blue. For those of you watching on YouTube.
I actually can't tell the difference.
I'm Max.
Oh, okay. It works.
So, for the majority of you on podcast, sorry about that. So, first of all, I want to talk about a major disappointment. Major. Partly your fault, actually, because of what you said, but I'll talk you. I'll talk you through it. Because I'm like, we need to reschedule the podcast. Can't do our normal time. Can we do this time, that time? You're like, oh, of course, yep, no worries. Sign me up. Because you're always so agreeable and enthusiastic, and I love that.
Oh, thank you.
And then you said, oh, you've got auditions.
No.
No, Sam, no. Doctor's appointments.
Of course.
For my bloody shoulder. For those of you that aren't up to speed, because some idiot driving a Subaru ran me off the road on my Vespa and I have a broken shoulder. But hey, I'm almost over it. Can you tell? So this week, we're recording this now Wednesday afternoon. Mm-hmm. I've seen the GP. I've seen the surgeon. I've seen a neurologist for a nerve test, which I tell you what, is so exciting. I hope I don't have to do it again. An MRI and physio.
All in.
And it's only Wednesday. I'm like, seriously?
Wait, from Monday?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is like a project. I've
Treat
already
it like that.
I've already got them in a little folder, and I'm keeping tests. I know how to read a nerve assessment. I know how to look for tendon separation and injury on a shoulder MRI scan.
Ow.
I'm actually becoming a bit of a pseudo expert.
Oh, nice.
As I told the surgeon this morning, and
I can play a surgeon now.
Actually, the last time I played a doctor, I was playing a very bad doctor who there was a photo of me actually covered in blood of one of the patients who obviously didn't make it. That's when I ended up in a bit of a relationship with one, marriage troubles, whatever. And then it was towards the end of the film we find out she's actually dead, which is really creepy. But anyway, so
I always
that
think
doctor wasn't so good.
After I watch Suits, I can be a lawyer now. That's what I always think about.
Yeah, that's all the preparation you need.
In America, you can't. It's different to Australian law. It's like all that stuff.
Oh
You always think you can be like,
and it's so bad, right?
I can do it now.
Because you find the crime, you analyze it, CSI come in, there's all the clues, you go to court, and it's all wrapped up in an hour. Perfect, Talk about unrealistic. But the same thing's happening with the reality shows, right? Because people think, because you see them all come in, you see, 2 or 3 talent on screen, you don't see all the tradespeople behind the scenes that are actually doing it.
Yeah.
It's so edited so smoothly. That it's like, wow, we just came up with this idea, and then the next weekend we just did it, and then the weekend after that we put a bit of paint here, redecorated, and it's done. It could take you 18 months of negotiating to remove a tree with the council before you even build the foundations for the extension. The reality sucks sometimes, even on reality TV.
Yeah, you don't see all the paperwork, all that stuff.
But who wants to sit there and watch part 15 of a 30-part reality TV series on, let's get an update from the council on our application for...
I sometimes think reality TV is like more fictional than fiction.
Yes. Well, I mean, the thing is, they just record so much footage.
But then they edit audio together.
They can take the 5 minutes that you had a meltdown and absolutely leverage it, and you're the bad guy or girl. In fact, in Australia, quite interestingly, someone on a reality TV program was painted as the bad person, and when it went to air, they weren't quite prepared for it and had a bit of an emotional moment. Took them to court and said, you know what, we're not just a contractor with a nominal fee. We're an integral part of the production. We're an employee. Therefore, you need to cover my costs associated with my mental health recovery and damages because of how you put me in this box that isn't me, and I wasn't ready for that, and all the backlash and whatever. It went in her favour. I mean, it's up for appeal, so we'll see what happens. But it's interesting because that's going to change the landscape of how production companies engage, inverted commas, talent to come on. Well, it's everyday people / someone who's got a Star Now account /
talent. Yes, someone with Star Now account.
It's just but it's as reality is as we know it. But we still watch these shows sometimes. I'm still very fond of Lego Masters. I love that. That was great.
I haven't actually watched a full episode of that. Actually, I watched something called Face Off where they were makeup artists.
Really?
It was like MasterChef for makeup artists.
MasterChef for makeup artists.
It's not on
Fascinating.
anymore. Years ago, and I watched
Okay.
a lot of that, and they had to do prosthetics and everything and staying
Wow.
with the theme. It was really, really cool, actually.
That's just it. It's hard to find original stuff sometimes because like I know that one of the most profitable ones on television at the moment is on Network 9 in Australia, and it's called The Block, and it involves a lot of couples, battling it out, renovating. So it's really profitable, even though it doesn't have the most ratings of their reality TV programs. I think Ninja Warrior does, but because of all the product placements they can do,
Yeah.
even when the ads aren't running, there's ads running.
Yeah.
And they just make so much money. It costs about 30 mil to put on. They get 150 mil back. It's cheaper than scripted drama, and it's 6 mil an episode at the moment for scripted drama.
Nice.
So the trouble is, obviously, we want more scripted work, but it's hard when there's options that are so much cheaper. And if it's worked in, the US market or the UK market, they'll copy paste it. And then, so you don't end up with true original reality. You don't end up, anyway, it's just like.
I watch that stuff. I watch like
reality's
Bachelor in
taking over.
Paradise just to make fun of everyone.
Bachelor in Paradise?
To make fun.
I had to watch a few episodes of The Bachelor. It was
It's
Collateral
intriguing.
Damage. Emma was focused on, there was no way we were watching, boring shows, as she calls it, like Four Corners or Media Watch or something. But so what else am I doing now that I'm trying to take my mind off visiting doctors? I do know my way around hospitals. I am looking for a US monologue. I say US monologue. I'm just looking for a really good drama monologue
Okay.
that I can record in US accent so that I can bump up my, refresh my show reel for US. Because my piece I did for Deadly Women won't be out till next year. That was Dave from Omaha, who was a serial philanderer.
Yeah.
Fantastic episode. I can't believe this happened. Anyway, I won't spoil it. Poor Dave. So I thought I'll do a self-tape, but I'm looking. I don't know. I'm so because obviously the golden rule is like don't do a famous monologue, right? We don't want people to instantly try and
'Cause then
compare
you
you
get compared,
to the
yeah.
original.
Yeah.
But you don't want something bland and disengaging. You want to have a really good objective that you want to get in the scene. And so I'm just, I don't know. I think I'm procrastinating a little bit.
There's a lot of good Aussie monologues or from Aussie productions or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even theatre.
Okay.
And then I've in the past changed the accent and hence
Right.
changed a couple of the words
Right.
just because they're Aussie words or whatever.
Yeah. Refresh it slightly.
And you can do that as long as it's pretty, like if it's a versatile monologue, it can be put in any situation sort of thing.
Sure.
If it's dramatic, generally that's the case.
Well, I'll try, maybe comedy though. I mean, I'm really like, so
go
first
comedy.
of all, I don't even know the genre, right? Dramedy.
Dramedy.
No. Well, I just realised because the piece I've got is
Fred.
stereotypical. Fred, mate, calm down. Oi. He's pulling his bed apart. So because the bit I've got is like the stereotypical over the top American film director who's screaming at people. I'm guessing maybe I'll go
Monologue.
opposite. And I've currently
What's it
got
from? What's it from?
from an AFTRS film. So
right.
I'm
I
looking
see,
for
I see.
maybe I'll go opposite. Go
okay.
comedy.
Oh.
I might do that, and I'll try and. But then you've not only got to find something that's engaging, it should be
There's-
funny as well.
There's a cool monologue from something called The Pillow Man.
The Pillow Man.
Yeah, it's a theatre monologue.
Okay.
But it's American and it's
Yeah.
really cool and it's kind of drama comedy and it's like he's telling kind of a story. It's
Right.
it's in a story form,
Okay.
which is kind of cool. I can see that.
Okay.
Cool as well.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Because I've just got to, what I've got to do is just stop looking because I can look forever, right? I've just got to make a decision and then
Yeah.
I've got to own it and then live with it for a week or two and then just finally deliver the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. Because I'll feel normal again if I'm walking around the room with a script in my hand as opposed to x-rays and MRIs.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a couple of short films that I did. Remember I went through that month of working
student
for
short films?
AFTT and going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
5 student films. What
Should
turned
get an
out to
award
be
for that.
2 was like 5.
Yeah.
I should, yeah. The house actor for AFTT, the
Yeah.
resident artist, the resident actor.
Mm-hmm.
If you need
Do it.
someone, and the funny thing is they're just so different. Like the doctor having a midlife crisis, the hospitality manager just screaming at his staff and having a Groundhog Day moment over and over. The dad who's just kind of disconnected from reality and is a bit of a slob and an asshole. The judge who's an absolute asshole, but a conniving, slippery little bugger. There's gonna be lots of footage. I've already got 2. I need to get a couple more, and then I can start to put together the real edits
Cool.
for the agent. Because what I was going to have one, Drama Max, Comedy Max.
I was going to ask
Police
you 'cause
Officer Max.
I wanted to start on voiceover stuff, which we've spoken about before.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, because like, all I need. What was the website you were on? Voice something? Voice.com? Is it voice.com?
I get a lot of work, and I've tried three different platforms at the moment, and I've dropped one. I'm now with two, only because I paid for a set period of time on the second, but most of my work is coming from voices.com.
Voices.com, that's right.
And then, repeat clients, etc.
So yeah, I was thinking, like, all I need is just a good mic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you just send it off. What? And obviously the experience.
It's like saying as an actor you need a script, but like
No.
you've got. I mean,
as in all I need, as in what I need.
Tech wise, absolutely.
Is a mic. Yeah, you can't do it with a shitty
USB mic is kind of frowned upon. I've got because I started with a tiny Rode mic that's designed to clip onto the Rode Go. Yeah. Which is designed to clip into. Well, I use it on my my phone when I record self tapes to get my audio stronger than the person I'm reading with.
Intro video, which
I think so.
Redo.
I think so.
Yeah,
but yeah, we need to redo that. Good, put that on the list. And I think it's like the process. I can only speak for myself, right? The process I went through, because I worked with Paige Walker on my US accent. And she's like, well, you worked in radio for 5 years, you cold read well, why don't you do voiceover work? Because she does voiceover work. So I thought, okay, great. What's that world like? Well, it's a bit smaller and more exclusive when it comes to agents, but with technology, you can go out and get work. First thing we did was select some scripts, but she helped a lot there because she sort of could know what's really marketable at the moment and what would suit me. So then I had those scripts, and over a couple of sessions sort of worked through those scripts, making sure I'm emphasizing the right word and I've got the right breaths and the right spot, blah, 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 just to make it flow really well. Really worked on all these scripts. Then I went to an engineer, and I obviously there was less booth time because I'd done all that pre-work.
Yeah, okay.
But he was providing some feedback as well. And then I had my demo, which is on my website, and it's all edited. He's put music to it. I think I made a couple of changes in terms of order, and he fixed that up. It was 500 Australian to get it done, but it was well worth it because I've used that as a full demo. I chop it up on voices.com and say, here's a corporate read, here's an energetic radio ad, here's an audio book demo, and with all the right categories attached to it. So when people are searching for talent in certain categories, there I am. People can like my demos on this platform. And people can follow me. People can invite. I did one audition today where someone had actually invited me to do the audition rather than just posting them and the algorithm tell you what should suit and, send away your auditions, which I generally do as well. I did about 6 today, actually.
Yeah, wow.
I've got, I think there's about 50 outstanding waiting for decisions. And of the 50, there's probably 15 that have been liked already which is, shortlisted, I guess. Look, for me, I've sort of fallen into mainly corporate reads, trying to bring dry corporate stuff to life.
Okay.
Because, the corporate copy is all written by committees and marketers and agencies, and trying to make it sound interesting is like, it's a challenge sometimes. And based on my experience in corporate, that's kind of where I've landed. Like, I'll do more of that rather than video games.
Yeah.
But you've got so many different categories now. Yes, you've got long form narration like audiobooks. I've done a couple of documentaries. There's lots of opportunity, but there's also lots of people. So a good demo is worth its weight in gold.
It's like a show reel,
absolutely,
but for voice. Yeah. Absolutely. Like I'm doing would be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can, and there are people who do packages. Like, here's an action video game and different character voices.
Yeah.
Different dialects.
Do you ever get asked to come in though to like a booth to
a studio?
To like an actual studio? Yeah.
Where I'm at, I've had a couple of. Most of it, no. I'm to provide studio quality sound, and because of my voiceover setup, I can do that and edit, remove breaths and that sort of stuff, and give them the right file format that they can just drop straight in and go without having to book. And go to the expense of booking an engineer, booking a studio, etc. For me, there's been a couple of times where they've asked for a directed session, so you've got them on Skype on a monitor, and they listen in and give you some direction. So directed session sometimes, but yeah, most of it. And I've had cases where it's gone back and forth a few times to ask for some edits. So in my quote, I'll include a couple of opportunities to provide a few edits, a few pickups. But what's interesting is I'm applying the logic of voiceover and having specific demos for specific categories to my acting, because the show reel in itself of you at your best in different categories is great to show your agent. just what you can do.
Yeah.
And maybe if you get to do a go-see, you know, maybe the casting director's seen it as you sit down and tell them all about you and deliver a couple of monologues and that sort of stuff, like a general go-see.
Sure.
For me, that's what led to me doing, you know, the police officer one, the lawyer one, the doctor one, a comedy one, a drama one, and of course some of them have the same scenes. But it's just so much easier then for the agent to go, I'm putting him forward for police officer. Here's the headshot that works best for that, and here's a link to the 30-second showreel of Max being a police officer.
Oh, nice.
Easy for the agent, easy for me. Speaking of which, I've got a meeting tomorrow morning with my agent, so I've been preparing for that. That's why I can, you know, it's all fresh in my head because tomorrow it's kind of like, here's where I've been, here's what I think I need to prioritise for next year. Is it right? Are we aligned? Is what I'm thinking where you're going to think I can succeed being submitted? And just make sure we're on the same page. I think we are.
Yeah.
But because we communicate pretty well throughout the year. But you know, if there's something else I need to tighten up, I'll do it because these are people who are seeing lots and lots of people being submitted and people getting successful callbacks and stuff. So it'd be great to find out if there are any tips and tricks, obviously. And the easier you make it for the agent, right? The easier it is for them to do their best to get you out there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm not idle by any means, and I'm definitely trying to take my mind off my bloody shoulder. I'm sick of thinking about it, sick of talking about it, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, oh well. Well, I am done for Wollongong.
Oh,
no more going back.
So you've earned your stripes. You've probably done 1,000 kilometres. It's like
so much driving.
All those hours. How did it go? How did it wrap up? Good?
It was good. Yeah, it was a good last day. It was just Saturday, so we did matinee and Jess and her co-star did Saturday night.
Awesome.
So it was all in one day. So that was good. Jess and I drove down on Saturday. And
did you stay the night again?
No, because we were going to, but it was just like chill drinks afterwards.
You had such amazing experiences the last time.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted that free
that
extra
awesome
shower.
hotel room.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, we were going to because obviously afters, but it was just more chill drinks. So I just had like a Coke. No, because we left pretty early and we drove home.
Yeah, okay.
I drove home, and we got home. Yeah.
Have you been sharing the load?
She doesn't drive.
Oh,
she needs
so
to get her
no
license.
is the answer to that then?
No, I'm getting my full license in February.
Oh, Emma doesn't drive either. But
look at that. She better get her license.
I'm now an Uber. The worst is when I'm Ubering Fred around. For God's sake, I'm a private Uber for a dog.
Yeah.
Off we go to the dog park.
So
Off we go to doggy daycare.
You guys have been together for a while, right?
Well, Fred and I for a year and a half. But yeah, Emma, I know it's been like 9 years.
9 years. I hope Jess gets her license.
Well, yeah. I think Emma's just kind of giving up. Like where we live now, it's like 20 minutes to the city on the train.
Nice.
In fact, sometimes when she's not gymming it at night, she'll walk from the city.
Oh, okay. I kind of like driving Jess at this point. Yep. Maybe not 9 years down the track.
Well, then you get a four-wheel drive and then you decide you also need a Vespa.
Hell yeah.
That's how it goes, basically.
Yeah. No, but it was really good. And then my birthday was on Monday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm
now
forget,
12.
But happy birthday.
I'm now 12. It's so much fun.
Physically 19?
20.
20. So you're no longer a teenager.
You don't know.
You start counting in decades after
I'm
a while.
no longer a teen. I'm officially 20.
Almost a grown-up, but you're still immature, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Still a teenager inside.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of a comeback. It's just like, I can't.
That's fine. When you do,
you
just
don't
text it to me and I'll think about putting it down.
No, it's it was nice, and my brother's got me like a Mont Blanc highlighter.
Mont Blanc?
Mont Blanc.
Mont Blanc.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Highlighter.
A highlighter?
No, like it's a nice Mont Blanc, and you put like highlighters.
A highlighter?
Yeah, it's really cool. They have highlighters.
Mont Blanc does highlighters.
Yeah, they do everything. But they got me highlights, so now I'm just going to use my Mont Blanc pen for scripts.
Oh, of course.
It'll be so good.
And highlighting everyone else's mistakes and just highlighting in general, just highlighting everything.
Because I have a Mont Blanc pen, which my parents got me at the start of HSC.
Marvelous. I'd be so scared of losing it, though. I'd have to
I did not take it to school.
Banks,
I left
it. Banks, how they chain them to the desk?
I'd
have to do that.
You'd have to do that.
Because I'd be so nervous about what... Yeah. It's like, does that come with a chain and padlock?
What?
Like, you're in the wrong store, buddy. Newsagents next door.
Yeah.
Go buy a pack of pens from Costco. That way you've got plenty to lose.
Classic. Yuck. So that was really fun.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's just been kind of chill. Like it's a big... having a week in between shows for the same show was really odd. Don't really want to do that again.
I mean, did you do anything in between, like an extra rehearsal just to... No, not really.
It was just a big break, and it feels weird because you have closing night, which doesn't feel like closing night, and it all leaves your brain, and then you come back and you do it again.
What?
Yeah, so it was weird.
Bit different. So what's next?
Oh, a break until next year. I've texted my
I remember
agent.
that day you on the podcast, you were so tired.
I was
so out of it. You could barely talk. It was hilarious.
I can't wait to see the trailer for this short film that I did, though.
Oh, yes.
That will come out soon, they said, a week ago.
They said soon.
Mm-hmm. But it will.
They meant maybe.
They meant in 2 years' time. No, so I can't wait to see that, and that will be awesome. I messaged my agent. He hasn't replied. But just talking, yeah, no.
Doesn't he know who you are?
Except he has.
That is disgraceful.
Unacceptable is what it is.
It is.
No, he has.
He doesn't listen to this, does he?
Of course not.
Okay. What do you mean? Of course not.
Well, I've told him to.
No, we've got lots of great people listening, and I thank you for those of you who can hear this.
No, I love Mark. He's great. He's amazing, and no, I do. I did tell him to listen to this, so hopefully he has.
Hopefully he'll reply and tell you he has.
Yeah, no, he did. He was like, I would have a listen, but he's a busy man.
Of course, as you'd want from your agent.
Of course.
You know, if they're talking to you all the time, and every time you see them, their feet up on the desk going, "What's new on board? What's news on board?"
Yeah, I asked him. I'm like, I'm going to get new headshots, which I have to do soon. I'll get that from Kate Williams.
So you're going to flick him like half a dozen of the headshots or whatever the photographer's picks are, and let him choose.
Yeah, I'll email him
what he thinks is the hero head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, because Kate
or the
does
second
that.
hero head.
It's really good.
She's
like, these are my 20 favorites. I like these two as well.
You know what I did though? I had the 12 photographer picks, and we kind of zeroed in on the one, and I thought to myself, well, I want the agent to be a part of the process, and so I sent them 3 that I thought were pretty cool. And, which one I kind of was leaning towards, and like, it's fine, it's fine. So I do notice though. On my casting network's profile, they've gone back to one of my old headshots with the beard. Because I turned up at one of the castings and I spied my details and it had the photo of me with the beard. I'm like, crap, because I shaved that morning. But I obviously don't want to be that guy who turns up looking completely different from his headshot. Yeah,
that's why I need new ones.
So actually, I'll have to check that tomorrow. Because everywhere else is clean shaven max now. And the later headshot, but they've got anyway. I'm thinking of doing new ones again early next year, but I don't know.
Oh, nice.
I say that, but then I procrastinate about it for 6 months and finally get around to it.
I really need new ones now that I think about it because I don't look like me anymore.
You don't know. You're now a 20-year-old. You're now a young man, from teenage boy to young man.
To young man.
And you need a headshot that reflects that. Dark and stormy, older you, not innocent Sam.
I know. I don't know how I've used that headshot for so many years. We got a boat recently, my family.
Really?
Like a nice
Is it like
boat.
Can we call it a yacht?
I wish we could call it a yacht. It's a nice.
Got to find someone in my circle of friends who gets a yacht. You know, we go partying on the. Is it big enough for
let's
like
do
how
the
many people
podcast on the day boat?
Oh my god, that's just a recipe for everything getting electrocuted and wet. And talk me through the boat. Like, is it a tinny? Is it like one you pull behind a yacht?
It's like
or is it an actual boat?
It's a boat. It's a day boat, and it fits like 10 people or whatever. So it's really cool.
That's awesome.
I put it in the water by myself.
I've got to move back in with my parents.
I towed it behind the car for the first time by myself.
Oh, really? You were driving with a boat?
Well, I drive the boat, and then
Oh, I see. You were driving the boat.
No, I drive the boat and the car.
And the car with the boat behind it.
Yeah.
So you drove the boat to the dock. And
I drove the boat to the dock
in the water.
I drove the car in the water.
I was going to say.
I drove the boat.
Because driving the boat while the car's driving.
I drove the boat. I
really
drove the boat to the dock, and then I jumped in the car and drove the car in the water.
Okay, I got it now. That's
okay. Good.
Sarcasm.
No, sorry.
As you can tell, I'm a real boatie.
I towed the boat for the first time, and it's so scary. Have you ever towed like a big trailer of something?
I've had a few issues with boats. Boats and me just look. I'm happy to be the guy. It is story time. Buckle up because this is interesting.
Buckle up and don't fall off your Vespa.
I'm more than likely the guy who's in charge of minding the esky, minding the chiller, minding the alcohol, sitting on the alcohol. Because
it's a mistake
if I touch anything, I'm going to either hurt myself, endanger the lives of everyone else on board, and sink the boat. Okay.
Then why were you even the esky?
We did a yacht. I did a yacht race. No, listen.
On the boat.
I did it. True.
That is true.
Unless you're the one drinking it all. I did. Yacht race, Sydney Harbour, corporate thing. This is back in the corporate life, but hey, you got to take the wins every now and then because they ain't all days like yacht racing. So I'm like, brilliant. I'm out of the office. I'm with the customers, kind of on my best behaviour, but I've known them for years. And we all get a boat. So it's like 12 boats because there's about 6 people per boat. And look, every boat gets a real captain. So don't panic, right? Because I'm still Maxie the salesman, not Max the boatie. And I caught the ferry, in Sydney. That makes me anyway. But that was my experience. So I'm on the boat. And I just didn't want to lose. You're so competitive. It's like, I can do this. This is how you tie the sail to the thing and do a knot around the clip and all that sort of boat stuff. And I'm running from one side of the boat, the port side to the starboard side, whichever.
Okay, you got that.
No,
that was good.
I know. It's good, isn't it? I just don't know which is which.
Guess, go.
Port is left.
Oh, you got it.
I did rowing. That's boating.
Oh, that's good.
Kind of. I was stroke side,
with the cops.
which is not. Yeah, who was steering? That's not the story though. Hang on, what am I doing?
Go on.
Oh yeah. So race around the harbour. Anyway, and the guys I get to have a go. But picture this, okay? Beautiful day, not too hot, not too cold. Blue skies everywhere. There's boats behind us. There's a couple in front. We're gaining on them. I'm coming under the harbour bridge.
Oh yeah.
Literally, I'm looking at. It's amazing. I've got the wheel.
Oh,
and
no.
Everything's sparkling. It's like a beer commercial. It looks so perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a couple of ferries coming towards us past the Opera House. And he's like, don't worry, just go between the ferries and you'll be fine. Just go between, because I'm thinking, they'll turn into Circular Quay and dock there. So no worries. So I'm driving the boat. Is it driving the boat? It's not driving the boat, is it?
Yeah.
Driving the boat?
Yeah,
driving the boat.
Depending
and,
if it's sailing.
It's a sailing. Well, it's a sailboat.
Okay,
the motor wasn't on, so maybe I was sailing then. Anyway, I was steering it, whatever it was doing.
Yeah.
We're getting closer and closer, and I got to the stage where I'm right under the harbour bridge now, and I'm thinking, right at the point I'm thinking those two ferries are really close together. You know that James Bond movie where they're on the speedboat and he's full pelt going between the two boats and they're merging closer together.
It's like that.
Just gets through and the baddies don't. Yeah.
You didn't do that.
I did. Well, almost, because right at the moment I thought they're really close together. The captain has come charging at me, screaming, "What the are you doing?" and grabbed the wheel and he's spinning it. I'm like, "We said go between the two boats, the two ferries." "No, between the ferry and the land." I didn't even know which side of the water that. Well, I thought about it.
Yeah.
But then, my skills are limited.
So what happened? You got around it.
Well, I didn't. I just stepped the hell back because he was very upset because he's in charge of the safety of everyone on board and the boat and everything. He's probably got a reputation on the harbour. And I was about to ruin everything.
Oh god!
So yeah, I got to sit on the fridge and drink wine. I'm more the guy who can sit on the boat and do cheese and wine. Rather than run around and do the driving and stuff.
Well, I can drink while driving on the boat now, even though from the age of 16, technically, because you can get your full license at 16. Actually, you can get your full boat license at 12 now.
12?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you're responsible enough at 12
which means you're
to drive a boat.
You're legally allowed to drive a boat by yourself at 12.
I guess.
And then hence you're allowed to be 0.05 alcohol content.
See, what we're not thinking about is real, boat people by the sea who, there's no dramas. But when you look at Sydney Harbour, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going, oh my God, because you've got ferries, you've got the seaplane landing, you've got all the normal people boats, the party boats, you know what I mean? It's so busy out there.
I don't know. Actually.
You ran into a party boat?
No, like ran into one. Like, not actually ran into one, but we ran into one.
God. Oh, my God. You say boats, I'm thinking about sinking it. You've been listening to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I am Sam.
And you'll hear us next week.
See ya, guys.
Bye.
Two unemployed actors.
So that happened. Bless you, Fred. Fred getting violent. He just pushed my water.
Fredo.
He doesn't realise how long he is.
I know.
He's eating at one end and the other end is pushed my water off the table. Jeez, Fred's hard to find good help.